Hello, Ryan with Miss.Geek here, and today I am showing you the mostly finished Tri-Meridian. And this is the bicycle that, if you follow my blog miss.geek.com, or have checked out the links to atomiczombie.com's forum, you can see the build thread of this, and also the thread where I announced that it's largely finished. What is it? Well, it's a trike, and it's made from square steel tubing for the frame, and all of the bicycle parts are salvaged bicycle parts. In fact, the rear wheels and tires and part of the drivetrain came from a bicycle salvaged at the salvage yard here in the little town where I live. So I thought I would show you around it and just give you a general idea of what this thing is all about. So up here, the first thing you'll notice is the steering, and the steering has a piece of conduit with ball ends at the end. They're called Heim joints, or tie rod ends, whatever you want to call them. And of course we got the cranks there. The front derailleur is not connected. It is just keeping the center crank, which is a 38 tooth crank. And this, by the way, you can learn how to make all this at atomiczombie.com. If you are interested in doing this, this is a modification of the Meridian plan, which is a bicycle, a long wheelbase, kind of a touring or a commuting bicycle, which I actually built back in 2008. So from the seat forward, this is a Meridian, straight from the plans. From the back, however, it's my own design. So underneath, we've got a jack shaft made with bicycle hubs recovered from one's an old 10 speed and an old 12 speed. And so I'm using, actually I think they're both 10 speed. So 5 speed free wheels, and then the hubs are welded together with a pipe, and it's mostly straight, but I think it's going to need to be rebuilt so that there's the hubs are actually gone and there's just a pipe connecting one end to the other. So we'll see about that in the future. And the wheels are from a fat tire Huffy that I got for, like, I don't know, $15 or $20. I think it's $15 at the scrapyard. And the frame is all 083 thickness, 1.5 inch tubing, except for the 3/4 inch tubing, which is 060. And the idea here is that it's got plenty of flex as for a little bit of suspension, plus those big fat tires also for suspension. There is no built-in springs or shocks or anything like that. This is just steel being flexible. A friend of mine helped me with the seat, basically helped me build it, gave me the covering material and everything. So that was routed or cut out with a jigsaw, and the material came from the boat building business where he works. He gets scraps and stuff. So that jack shaft transfers the torque from here over there, and then all the way back to the 6-speed rear end. And then we've got this cargo box. This cargo box is built with Coroplast. Coroplast is the corrugated plastic that you can get to make signs with. This was about $20, I think $22 at Home Depot. It's all put together with zip ties and then sealed from the rain with packing tape. And it's not perfect. I may end up remaking it at some point. It is held down with well, first it's mounted with some 3/4 inch tubing that I ripped down the middle to create a C-channel, and then I cut that up and made a mount. And then I used some foam padding and zip ties to attach it to the frame. Why didn't I weld it? Well, because the frame was already painted and completed when I decided to put the rack on it. Inside, we've got this lid here, and inside I've got a little pocket for bike tools, which right now just contains some tire tools and a hilarious full-sized air pump, so I could pump up the tires, or tire pump I should say. And I used most of the sheet. I was going to put fenders on this thing also along the side here, but I used most of the sheet in building this. It's a 4x8 sheet, and I might have enough scraps to make some fenders with. I'm going to make a fender for the front so that I don't get water on me when it gets wet, because this is Western Washington. It gets wet a lot. It's got regular V brakes on it because that's what the bike had. If I had the opportunity, I would have used disc brakes. They're much better, but I'm not going to be taking this on any steep descents or anything. I think this will be fine. And you can see the derailleur hanger there is just a standard claw type derailleur. I did weld a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a little nub on it to hold it in place so that it just didn't flop around. So that works out pretty good. You can see that if I get a little closer. So there's the little nub on the back of it that aligns it with the back of the derailleur hanger, or the mount rather, that vertical orange piece. And then we've got Tony Hawk helping me out here from a kid's skateboard. I bought it at a garage sale for $3, I think. And then you can see some actual bike parts right here. So this works really good. I just got back from a 1.5 mile ride, the longest ride I've done with it yet, and it was comfortable, and still getting used to having a trike as opposed to a bicycle. But I think this is going to work really nice. And one thing that's great is the cargo box has just tons of room. And you'll notice it's got this center divider. I did this for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to be able to put that pocket in there, but it also stiffens the box significantly, and also stiffens the bottom. That's a nice huge piece there on the bottom, and by itself pretty flexible, but with that stiffener in there, it is real good. Plus, I didn't want to give things the opportunity to roll around too much in here when I'm riding, so that kind of acts as a baffle as well. And depending on how it ends up getting used, I may add another baffle going left to right here. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I'll put a link below to the Atomic Zombie forum, and I'll link to my build thread and the completed thread if you want to see all the gory details about how this thing was built and all the struggles that I had. Also, I'm putting a link down below to the welder I used for this. The welder cost $115 at Amazon when I bought it. And this is just a stick welder. You might think that I spent lots of money on a welder and learned to MIG weld or TIG weld or something like that. Definitely not the case. I'm not even very good at welding, but I was able to build this. Now, one thing you'll note is I did design that rear subframe so that everything, the welding basically holds the pieces in place, but the structure and all the weight is held by the pieces above it. So the center piece of the frame holds the cross members. The cross members hold the stringers here, whatever you want to call them, the wheel stays, I guess. So, in fact, when I was putting this together, I sat on it with just clamps holding it together because the clamps weren't even very tight. I just need everything to stay in one place, and that's really what all the welding is for. So, a stick welder works great. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you don't even have to be a good welder. I kind of relearned to weld building this bike, and so I would highly recommend the welder that I used. So future plans include a light on the front. I'm going to weld a little tab to this piece. I'm going to weld a little tab to that to add an LED lamp. I've also got plenty of room back here for some weatherproof red LED strips that I purchased, and I'll make those flash with an Arduino or something along those lines. Maybe even go old school and use like a 555 timer. It might be fun. And maybe fenders, and that's about it. Might put some big sign on the back that says, slow moving vehicle or something. But so far I've gotten plenty of respect on the road for it, and even had a couple of kids yelling, "What kind of bike is that?" So anyway, a lot of fun to ride so far, and I'm looking forward to many, many more rides with it. And again, thanks for watching, and take care.